Right. Good morning, all. So, first of all, write down your enrollment number in chat box. Write down your enrollment number in chat box, everyone. Okay, so last time we have discussed this of one. Now for the second one, negations of there exist x p of x is true. It means there exists x p of x is false, and now there exists x p of x is false. Means for every x p of x is false. Okay, for every x p of x is false, and for every x not p of x is true. So for all x not p of x is true. Okay, now for not all x p of x is true, then for all x p of x is false, and therefore there exists x p of x is false, and so there exists x not p of x is true. So not there exists x p of x is false. Okay, see, there exists x p of x is true, then there exists some x which is true for at least one x, but now it's false, then which is false for every x. Okay, it is false for every x of p of x. Now bound and free variable. So if a quantifier is applied on variable x, then the occurrence of the variable is bounded, then the variable is called bounded variable. And occurrence of variable is not bounded by the quantifier is said to be a free variable. So all x that exist x are called the scope of quantifiers. Okay, all these things we have discussed. Now consider the following propositions determine the bounded variables, free variable, and a scope of quantifier. So for all x, p of x comma 1. So here x is bounded variable and y is free variable. Is see this uh, quantifier which we apply on x. So for all x is a scope. Now for there exists x, p of x implies q of x. So this there exists x which is the scope only for p of x, and x is free variable in p of x. X is variable in p of x and q of x. Okay, x is in variable in p of x and p of x, and p of x is a bounded statement. P of x is bounded statement with variable x, and here p of x is a free statement. Okay, then normal form. So a better method to transform expression P and Q to some standard form expression P dash and Q dash, such that a simple expression of P dash and Q dash shows whether P logically equivalent to Q. So this statement form is called a normal form. Okay. And simplicity, we use the word product in place of conjunctions and sum in place of disjunctions. Okay. So this is disjunctions normal form and conjunction normal form. So in logical expression, a product of variable and their negations is called the elementary product. So for example, P and Q, P and Q and not R, P and not Q and R, P and not Q and not R, not P and not Q and not R. So all are the elementary product. Now the sum of a variable and their negations is called elementary sums. So here P or Q, P or not Q or R, P or not Q or not R, not P or not Q. So all these are example of elementary sum. Now bijective normal form, it means the sum of elementary product, and conjunctions of a normal form, conjective normal form, it means uh, product of elementary sum, The logical expression is called DNF if it is the sum of elementary product, and example here we have given. This is sum of elementary product, and logical expression is called CNF if the product of elementary sum. These are the example. First one is DNF, second one is CNF. You can see that this is the elementary product, the sum of elementary product, we call it DNF. Now this is elementary sum, as we have connective as OR. Okay, here connective OR. So this is elementary sum, and the product of elementary sum, we call it CNF. Okay, and this is P and P or R and P and P or. So this is not normal form, first of all. Okay, by using distributive property, you can convert into a normal form. Now this not P or not P or Q for R. So this is DNF as not P is individual statement, Q is individual, and R. So in here not P, which you can say that in normal form, Q and R in normal form, and which are connects with connective with 4. So I can say that is bijective normal form, and this is in conjunctive normal form. Okay, as which are connect with N. And in general, you can say that the sum of elementary product, we call it bijective normal form, and product of elementary sum, we call it conjunctive normal form. Now procedure to find normal form. Okay, so we have to remove all this uh, implies, double implies, by using equivalent expressions containing the connectives and, or, and, not only. Okay, and remove the negations before the sum and product by using De Morgan law, and apply the distributive law until CNF or DNF is obtained. Okay, so the results here, not of not P, which is equal to P, commutative law, P and Q logically equivalent to Q and P, P or Q logically equivalent to Q or P. Okay, so this is the commutative laws, associative laws, distributive laws, okay, De Morgan laws, and all these are logically equivalent. Now convert to conjunctive normal form. So here we have given one of the example, like not of not P implies not Q and not R. So which I can say that which is logically equivalent to. Now, see this not P implies not Q, so I can say that this is not of not P or not Q. Okay, instead of this, we can write as this, which is a equivalent statement. Not of not P means P, so P or not Q and not R. Now, this P and not Q and not of not R as we this apply. Okay. Now, if we going to be applied De Morgan laws, then here there is a correction. Instead of n, we get or. Instead of n, we get or. So here is a correction. As we know that not of P and Q, which is equal to not P or not R. Okay. So there is a correction here. So this is the wrong. We get instead of n, we get or here. So we get or here. Now, instead of 4, we get end here. We get end here. Okay, we get. Okay, so then we get this is elementary product, elementary product. Okay, if we get end here, so here, so there is a correction here, and we get or here. So this is DNF, and if we apply the distributive law, then we get the like this is now if end here, then not P and R. Okay, so not P and okay, so and this is 4 here. Okay, so there is a correction in. So there is this example is wrong here. Okay, there after De Morgan law, all these steps which are not correct as we get here or. Now if we apply distributive then not P or R and okay here we have n. So last one is correct. So you get the CNF here. CNF is correct, but here there is a correction. Here we get or, here we get or, and here we get or. Okay, and here we get n. Here we get n and n. So this is a correction in example 1. Now P implies Q implies not R and Q. So not P implies Q or not R and Q. Now which is logically equivalent to again not P or Q. So not of not P or Q or not R and Q. Okay, again here forgot to write down the bracket. Here a bigger bracket is here. Now we apply the not and not of not P, and now what become n. Okay, not Q, and again see this is okay. Yeah, need not to be okay. This is correct, fine. So or not R and Q. So P and not Q or not R and Q. So now this is the elementary product, and sum of elementary product. So we call it DNF. Okay. So this one is correct. Okay, need not to be right here. Required to be out bracket as this is the logically equivalent statement which we have right here. Okay, fine. So it's fine. As this is negations which is only for this first one statement. Okay. So is it clear for everyone this DNF? Reply in chat box. Is it clear for everyone? Okay. See, if anyone have doubt, you can ask right now. Okay. If anyone have doubt in this bijective normal form or conjective normal form. Okay, so we are going to move ahead. Find the DNF. So here P implies Q and not of not Q or not P. So for this, if I have to remove this implication, not P or this statement. So this statement I have right here. Now again, these implications I want to remove. So not P or Q, and remaining as it is. And now this not P or, okay, this not P or Q as it is, and here I have applied these negations inside the bracket. So we have used the De Morgan law. So not Q which I get Q, instead of for now I get N, and not P which I get P. Okay. Now this not P or okay. Now we have applied the distributive law. So now I can say that this P and this Q and P, and or P and Q and P. Okay, Q and Q and P. Now not P or not P, again we can just like this, not P and Q and not P. So what I get this not P and not P and P, which is false. So false and Q, and here Q and Q, which is Q and P. So I get Q and P. So not P and P and Q. See, here I get Q, not P and Q, not P and Q and P, not P and P, which is false, as we know that. Not P and Q and not P, which is also false. Yeah. Okay. So we can write this not P and P and Q or Q. So sum of elementary product. So we get bijective normal form. And instead of this F only, you can also like this not P and P. So which is associative law, you can apply, and not P and P, which is false. False and Q, again I get false. Okay, yeah. So ultimately I get F. Fine. Now F or not P, which is not P only. Okay. Find the CNF. Okay. Conjective normal form. So here Q or, okay, so we are, what we want to find out here, product of elementary sum. Product of elementary sum. And as a statement we have given here Q or P and R, and not of P or R and Q. So what I do, this P or P and R, and this not of P or Q or not Q. Q or P and R, and now not P and not R or not Q. Okay. So Q or P, Q or P, we apply the distributive property of Q or P or Q or and Q or R. Okay, these things which we can write in this manner, and we have and here, and again here not P and not R. Or so again, if we apply distributive property, then we can write as not P or not Q and not R or not Q. So this is the product of elementary sum. I can say that this is a conjective normal form. Okay, is it clear for everyone? So in conjective normal form, if anyone have doubt, you can ask. Okay. I think everything we have discussed in this unit. So in second unit, if anyone have doubts, still anyone have doubt in any topic, you can ask right now. I think all topics which we have covered in this PPT. Okay. So from your side, if any doubt, you can ask right now. So now we revise unit 1. Okay, so these two units which are the part of our mid-sem syllabus, and I have already revised unit 2. And if you have any doubt in unit 2, you can ask right now. Otherwise, now we move for the unit 1. Okay, we can move for the unit 1. And the unit 1 which is on for set theory. Okay. And first we discuss the basic concept like what is sets, which is nothing the well-defined collection of objects or elements. We call it or number or okay or a set. We call it a set. And these elements may be anything such as number, point, in the geometry, letters, etc. Okay, and generally we use set as a capital letter ABC, and the lowercase letter is small b, which is used for the member of a sets. Okay, so representations. There are mainly two methods of representations: rule method, in method like a is equal to x, such that uh, okay, so by we can separate it by semicolon and x less than 5, and then we write the common property. In tabular method, in this method, elements are being separated by the comma and enclosed within the bracket, like a is equal to 0, comma 1. So in this mainly two method we can represent the or set. Okay. Now set which contain might be finite number of element or infinite number of elements. So if set contain finite number of element, we call it a finite set, and if it contain infinite number of element, we call it infinite set. Now null set. So null set, a set which does not contain any element, we call it a null set, which we denoted by phi. So we call it null set or empty set or void set. Okay. Now singleton set, it means a set which contain only one element. And subset, it means like suppose if you have A and B to our set, then for every element of A is also an element of B, then we can say that A is said to be a subset of B, a subset of B. Okay. So for every x belongs to A, which is also an element of B. Okay. So now every set is a subset of itself. A null set is considered as a subset of any sets, and if A subset B and B subset C, then A subset C. Okay. Then we have discussed superset. If A is a subset of B, then B is called a superset of A. Okay. And proper set, a subset A is said to be a proper subset of any subset B, any set B, if A is a subset of B, but there is at least one element of B which doesn't belongs to A. So it is denoted by A subset B. Okay, this is a proper subset of B. Like A is equal to 1, 2, 3 and B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, then A is a proper subset of B. So A subset B, it means either A equal to B or A is a proper subset of B. Now set theory, set identities. So A union phi is equal to A, and A intersection U is equal to A, where U is a universal set. Okay. And dominations law, A union U is equal to U, and A intersection phi is equal to phi. Idempotence law, it means A union A is equal to A intersection A is equal to A. Complementary law here, complementary of complementary is nothing but set itself A. And commutative laws for union and intersections, associative laws for union and intersection, distributive laws. So I think all this we have discussed. De Morgan laws. Okay, and De Morgan laws for set theory here, complement A union is equal to complement of A intersection complement of B, and complement of A intersection B is equal to complement of A union complement of B. Okay, absorption law. So A union A intersection B is equal to A, and A intersection A union B is equal to A. This is absorption law here. Okay. So A union A intersection B again, you get A itself, and A intersection A union B again, which I get A itself. Okay, and complement laws, A union A bar is equal to U, and A intersection A bar is equal to 1. And here prove that A is subset of A union B. Okay, so first uh, let X be an arbitrary element in A. So what we do, we choose one element from A, and if we prove this, which is also an element of A union B, then I can say that A is a subset of A union B. So if I take X belongs to A, then I can say that X belongs to A or X belongs to B. Okay, it might be possible X not belongs to B. So that's why I have right here or. Okay, so X belongs to A or X belongs to B. As we know that X is always in A, as we have already taken here X belongs to A. So I can say that X belongs to A or X belongs to B. So X belongs to A union B. But X is an arbitrary element of A. So I can say that which is true for every X belongs to A. So therefore A is a subset of A union B. Set of linear A minus B is equal to A intersection B complement. Again, we want to prove the equality. So by taking one element here, X belongs to A minus B, and if we show that which is also an element of A intersection B complement, then I can say that A minus B, which is a subset intersection B complement. In similar manner, if I take A intersection B complement, any element from this A intersection B complement, and if I show that which is also in A minus B, then I can say that which is a subset of A minus B. So in both ways, like A minus B, A intersection B complement, and A intersection B complement, which is a subset of A minus B. Okay, then I can say that these two sets are equal. Okay, and that this X minus B, it means X belongs to A and X not belongs to B. Now X not belongs to B, it means X belongs to B complement, and here X belongs to A. So X belongs to A intersection B complement, as we have X belongs to A and X belongs to B complement. Okay. Now X, B is arbitrary elements, so that's why I can say that A minus B, which is subset of A intersection B complement. Okay, so in similar manner, conversely, we can show that this, so both are equal. Now, similar manner, you can prove this distributive law, and all these things I think we have discussed how to prove this. Okay, so now state and prove De Morgan's rules. So for a set theory here, A union B dash is equal to A dash intersection B dash. Okay, and so I call this one is P, first one, and second one is Q. Then let X be an element of B. If X belongs to B, it means X belongs to A union B whole complement. So X naught belongs to A union B. So X naught belongs to A, and X naught belongs to B. Okay. And so as we have negation here, that's why we get N. Okay. X naught belongs to A union B. It means now X belongs to A union B, it means X belongs to A or X belongs to B. But X not belongs to A union B, it means X not belongs to A and X not belongs to B. Okay, possible. Okay, so here we get AND here as X not belongs to A union B. So X belongs to A dash and X belongs to B dash. So X belongs to A dash intersection B dash, and then applies X belongs to Q. And similarly, you can prove that X belongs to P. Okay, so in this way, you can prove the De Morgan laws or set theory. In similar manner, another statement you get here. This is one first statement. Now another statement is A intersection B whole dash is equal to A dash union B dash. Okay. Law 2 here. A intersection B whole dash is equal to A dash union B dash. And similar manner you can prove this. Okay. And by in particular in example also you can solve it. Now Venn diagram. So intersection for Venn diagram, like you have given two set S and T and intersections in this set regions, which is denote as this intersection of these two set here S and T we have given. So this is faded region which is S intersection T. Now S union T. So this is fine. Now what is S complement? S complement. So shaded regions which denote here as complement. Okay. Now this USTVW we have given, and we have to say that find V dash intersection at this intersection W union T. Okay, so this is very simple example you can do easily. Okay, this one also you can do easily. Cardinality of a set. Cardinality of a set. So cardinality, which is denoted as uh, the number of element in a cardinality means number of element in a set, and denoted by this as this is not absolute S, but which denote the number of element in S. Okay, this is nothing but the cardinality of S, and denoted by this manner. So, and if the set has an infinite number of element, then its cardinality is infinite. Like if A is 5, then cardinality of A is 0, and if A is exactly n element, then cardinality of A is equal to n. So, and n is not negative, non-negative number else. Okay, and if A is infinite set, then cardinality of A is equal to infinite, and the number of element in A union B is equal to number of element in A plus number of element in B minus number of element in A intersection B. Then power set of A is the set of all subset of A, and here we have discussed here if A subset B, then power of A which is also a subset of B, and set X has an n element, then power of X has second element. Two raised to n element. Sorry, power 3 of X has a 2 raised to n element. Yeah. And difference. So said theoretically we can A minus B, which it means all such X such that X belongs to A and X not belongs to B. Okay. And so how we can find out difference, like difference of two set? Here suppose 1, 2, 3 minus 3, 4, 5, then difference which we get 1, 2. Okay, A, B minus 3, 4, then I get A, B. 1, 2 minus 5, then again 1, 2. Okay, so this is A intersection B, which is nothing but A minus B, or I can say that B minus A, and which we can show that, like, see this A minus B. A minus B is nothing but A intersection B complement. Now again A minus A intersection B complement, it means A intersection A minus B complement of all this. Okay, now if we apply this complement, then A complement union B complement of complement, so which is B itself. Then if we apply the distributive property, so A intersection A complement union A intersection B, but A intersection A complement is 5. So 5 union A intersection B, which is A intersection B. So ultimately I get A intersection B. In similar manner, you can do this B minus A, which is also A intersection B. Now symmetric difference of XY is denoted by X delta Y. And what it means, this X delta Y, it means X minus Y union Y minus X. Okay, X minus Y union Y minus X. Okay, so X minus Y it means this portion, and Y minus X it means these shaded regions. So X symmetric difference of X and Y, which we get this symmetry, this shaded regions. Okay, so now example here, set 1, 2 and 2, 3. So symmetric difference of set 1, 2 and 2, 3 is 1, 3. Okay. So this common element will be removed. Common element of a set will be removed in asymmetric difference. A, B, C, and by definitions you can find out in this manner. Uh, X delta y nothing but x minus y union y minus x. Okay, x minus y union y minus x. Now this A, B, C, and you have given. Then find out this A minus B, B minus C, A minus B minus C, A delta C, and B delta C. So symmetric difference between A and C and B and C. Now A and C. So A we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and C 5, 6, 7. So symmetric difference, which is nothing between, there is nothing any element common between A and C. So I get the symmetric difference between A and C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and for B and C, so here 5 is common, so 5 will be removed. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Okay, this A minus this 3, 4, which are common element, will be removed, and I get simpleton 1. B minus C, which is, so 5 is common element, so it will be removed from the B, and we get 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then A minus of B minus A, so B minus C, so which I get now in B minus C we have 2, 3, 4, and A we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, 3, 4 are common. So if we remove 2, 3, 4 from A, then I get 1, singleton 1. Okay, and complement of A, and see U as a universal set here. So complement of A, which I get 5, 6, 7. Okay, I think this is the basic example. Now prove that A minus B is equal to A intersection B complement. This thing also you can do. Okay, this is A minus B union A intersection B is equal to A. Okay, this also you can prove easily. So I don't think so much more discussion required for this properties. Okay, we have already discussed briefly at a time when we have this. Okay, now this Cartesian product of x and y denoted by x cross y, and which right, as I said, x comma all x comma y order pair x y such that x belongs to x and x belongs to y. Okay, some product of two sets given here is 1 comma 1, 1 comma 3, 4 comma 1, 4 comma 3, and 5 comma 1, 5 comma 3. And this proposes an x cross y union z, which is nothing but x cross y union x cross z. Okay, which you can prove. Okay, once first you have considered one element belongs to this on left hand side, and you have to prove which is also an element of on right hand side, and here we have chosen arbitrary element, so it is subset of a. Okay, and similar manner, conversely, if you prove that. Okay, now computer representations of sets. So when a universal set U is finite, then all subset of U can be represented by its bits 0 and 1. Okay, of length n. So like U is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A is equal to 1, 2, 3, B equal to 4, 5, 6. Then the bit string of A, B, A union B, and intersection B. I can write this A is equal to 1, 1 equal 0. Okay. As U we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and A we have done 1, 2, 3. So first three elements, which is also an A. So for that I can say that 1, 1, 1. And 4, which is not an element of A, 5, which is not an element of A, 6 not an element of A. So I can write 0, 0, 0. Okay. So those elements which are universal set as well as in given set, and for that we write 1. Okay. Now here B we have 5, 4, 6, and in universal set we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for 1 which is not a part of B, so I get here 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Now A union B. So for A union B, we get 1 1 1 1 1 1. As A union B, which we get 1 2 3 4 5 6 and U itself. So I get this whole places which I get 1 for A intersection B, for all places which I get 0 0 0 0 0. Functions. Okay, so now functions, uh, uh, which is a very basic part of mathematics and one that appears in all form of algebra, trigonometry, and calculus. So functions was first used by Leibniz in 1673, and it is denoted by dependence of one quantity on another. In general, if the quantity y depends on the quantity x in such a way that each value of x determine exactly one value of y, then we say that y is a function of x. Okay. Now definitions, let A and B be a non-empty sets, then functions f from A to B is an assignment of exactly one element of B to each element of A. Okay, exactly one element of uh, one functions f from A to B is an assignment of exactly one element of B to each element of A. Okay, so each element of A which assigned to exactly one element of B. So I can say that in other way, functions f from A to B, when we can say that it is functions for every x belongs to a domain A, there exists a unique B belongs to B such that uh, y is equal to f of x. Okay, f from A to B then. So functions sometimes which also called mappings or transformation. Okay. Now here is this x is independent variable and y is dependent variable. Okay, so I think all this is a definition part which we already discussed. Domain, range. Okay, so for 1 to minus, it means f of 1 is equal to minus 1, f of 3 is equal to minus 6, and f of minus 4 equal to 1. So each element here which give the image, all this minus 1, 1, and minus 6, we call it range of functions, and 1, 3, minus 4, which we call the domain of functions. Okay, so domain and range. Which we already now denoted by norm of f, okay, and range, okay, which we already discussed. These things, okay, fine. Again, which we are going to be. This is, oh yeah, one thing I would like to be. Suppose you take from any element from the set, and each image you get here in a codomain, then this is called a pre-image. Okay, this A is called pre-image and this B is called image of A. Okay. Yeah. So in another way you can look this is the functions which relates to input to output, like a machine that has input and output. So functions is a rule which operate on input and proceed single output from the input. Okay, again for definitions, graphical representations. Okay, Venn diagram, graph, plot. This is a plot of the continuous function. Now, argument of a function. Okay, so again, the basic fundamental things here discussed. Example, like given f of x equal to 3x plus 1, then f of 2, f of minus 1, and f of x. Okay, by d of x, you can find out this. So, this is very basic things. Again, domain and range, which you already know how to find out domain and range. We give the function defined by, okay. So, this if you say that find out f of t, then instead of x, just you have to put t. F of w, g of w plus 4, then instead of x, you have to write w. plus 4. F of minus t, then instead of x here you have to write minus t. So what I get here, minus t square minus 2 of minus t, okay? And if g of minus 5w, then instead of x here you have to put minus 4, okay, minus 5w. So you get the answer. Okay, so find the domain of functions, write the answer of the in the interval notation. Like see here, if you have given f of x equal to x plus 7 upon 2x minus 1, then the functions will be undefined when the denominator is 0. So when we get the denominator is 0, if I take x equal to 1 by 2, if I take x equal to 1 by 2, then 1 minus 1, 0. So for x equal to 1 by 2, functions is not defined. Okay. So we have to exclude this x equal to 1 by 2. Otherwise, for any x belongs to R, this function is defined. Okay. So I can say that the here interval domain of the which is nothing but minus infinity to 1 by 2, open interval minus infinity to 1 by 2, union 1 by 2 to infinity. So this is the domain of a given function. Okay. Another example, find the domain of functions, write the answer in the interval form. Okay. So for every x belongs to R, the functions is defined. So uh, in interval, if I want, so for every element of R, the functions is defined. It means R, which is nothing but open interval minus infinity to infinity. Okay. Now sum of functions, difference, product, which you already know that. So okay, example, sum of the functions, product of functions, compositions of functions here. Then F compositions is not equal to G compositions F. Okay, and see this F of 8 is equal to 8 square minus 164 minus 163. Even functions, all functions, monotonic, subjective, bijective, injective functions. Okay, and these types of functions here, and this is the properties of functions. Okay, all this. And algebraic functions, exponential, logarithmic functions, analytic functions, inverse functions. Also, all this which we have discussed in calculus. Okay, and this even functions. When we call even functions is even if f of x equal to f of minus x for all x in its domain. Okay. So here the example of given functions which we have given. Then odd functions, when we call a given functions is odd if f of minus x is equal to minus into f of x, and it might be possible a given functions which is neither even nor odd. So all three possibilities there: either functions is even or neither even nor odd. Okay, monotonic, decreasing. Okay, now monotonic functions, the functions if it is increasing or decreasing in the interval, then we call it monotonic. Okay. One-to-one functions which we have already discussed. And when we call a given functions is one-to-one, so for two distinct element of domain, we always get a two distinct image in codomain. Okay, then we can say that given functions is one-to-one or injective functions. And when we call given functions is one-to, when each element of codomain gives image, it means the range of functions is equal to codomain. Okay, then we call a given functions is onto, and here we have, okay, so this is definitions again for onto functions. What we call it also, it's a subjective functions. And we have given here some examples related to functions. Okay, one-to-one and onto, then we call it one-one correspondence, okay, or bijective. So those functions which are one-one as well as onto, then we call it bijective. And bijections or reversal or invertible, both one-one and onto. Okay, this is inverse of functions, F inverse. But F inverse is exist only when given functions is one-one and onto. Okay. here the inverse of functions which we have given. Then we have to say that find out the inverse of functions like y is equal to x upon 5x minus 3. Then to find the inverse, switching x and y. Okay, so x is equal to y upon 5y minus 3. So x is equal to 5y minus 3 into y, 5xy minus 3x equal to y, 5xy minus y equal to 3x. Y, if we take common, then 5x minus 1 is equal to 3x, so y equal to 3x upon 5x minus 1. And we keep the inverse of functions here, 3x minus 5x minus 1. Okay, so in this way we can find out inverse of a. Okay, this is quadratic polynomial identity exponential need not to be discussed. Now product rule. So let the task can be broken down into two tasks. First task can be done in one way and second task in n2 way. Then entire task can be done by n1 into way. So this is, and now sum rule. This is the product rule of counting. Now sum rule, if first task can be done in n1 way and second task can be done in n2 way, and if the task cannot be done simultaneously, then there are n1 plus n2 way to do one this task. Okay. Pigeonhole principle. There are more pigeon than the pigeonhole, then there must be at least one pigeonhole with at least two, okay, pigeon on it. Okay, not pigeonhole here, two pigeon. So there is a correction here. There is at least two pigeon on in it. And generalized pigeonhole principle. Let n be a n number of pigeons are assigned to m number of pigeonholes. Then one of the pigeonhole must be occupied by at least n minus 1 divided by n plus 1 pigeons. So okay, again pigeonhole principle. This is which we have already discussed. Okay, so here I think okay. We have done here. Okay, so today we have revised the syllabus of Unit 1 and Unit 2. Okay, so now from tomorrow onward we are going to uh, uh, move ahead according to our syllabus. So I think time is over, so we stop here. Okay, thank you very much. Those who are come late, write down your enrollment number in chat box. Okay, those who are come late, write down your enrollment number in chat box.